What is up, everybody? How are you doing today? Happy anniversary to the Fantasy Tap. It is our 1 year anniversary on the dot. We're recording. Ooh. Yes, it is. Last year at this time, July 21st. Well, it'll be released to you guys the 22nd, but for us, we're recording on the 21st. It's our 1 year. John, how excited are you for our 1 year anniversary?
I'm super excited. I mean, I'm looking at you. You got the guns out, cut off there.
Yes, sir.
You're super excited.
Yes, sir.
So I'm ready for another great show. I was listening back to our first episode, and to be honest, I'd like to see the progress. It's great to see. You can hear the nervousness in our voices, the absolute train wreck of where our conversations were going without some leading. We've gotten better. Far from perfect.
Far from perfect.
Better. Only greatness from here.
Yes, 100%. And shout out to my wife real quick for getting me, and John's is on the way. But a tap, if you're on YouTube, you can see this. But it's the Fantasy Tap. So I'm hoping to eventually somewhere. Yeah, it's a Fantasy Tap. So add maybe a beer keg around here somewhere. My wife would kill me, but you know, she made this, so she has to put up with it. But for now, it's just going to go on the set.
Just get a kegerator and put it as a company expense.
Oh yeah, well, just use a Fantasy Taps count.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
If you go negative, we'll just declare bankruptcy on it.
Oh, I declare bankruptcy. Michael Scott, nice.
There we go.
Yeah, but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to our channel, we appreciate you tuning in. And if you're an avid listener or a previous listener, thank you as well. If you could just do us a favor real quick, if you're on YouTube, click that subscribe button, click that little bell, and smash the like button. That would do us wonders. And if you're listening to us on podcast, whether it's Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, anything like that, if you could leave us a 5-star review and write a little review in there, that'd be great. And we'd really, really appreciate it. It would really mean a lot to us. So, but before we jump into our news, also, I want to add our Discord. We do have our Discord that is growing. John, tell them about our Discord.
Yeah, so we do have a Fantasy Tap Discord that has been growing ever so greatly, where people are using it to find their fantasy football leagues, talk about the greatest news, some of which will be getting discussed in this episode. But make sure you guys check it out. We also handle a bunch of stuff outside of the fantasy football news. It's a great just community to chill and meet people, just have great conversation, make your days a little bit better, and just peruse the minds of the other fantasy football players in the league.
Yes, we also talk sports gambling, which is we lose a ton of money. It's great.
Yeah, you're in there. we like to lose. I mean, realistically, I had the Suns in the last 2 minutes of the game last night at plus 2,200. I put $10 on it.
Let's go. There we go, John. You're a risk taker.
It was a risk. It was worth it though.
Nice.
But speaking of risks, what are we putting up for risk this year?
I don't know yet.
I don't know yet. But we
did do a Tyreek Hill helmet last year.
We got to up that. But we are going to be doing another. We are going to be doing another listener league this year, a half-point PPR league. At the moment, I think it could change. But make sure you guys DM us and get your names in. If you're on YouTube, put your name in the comment, send us a message. Get to us. We're going to put everyone's name into a drawing, and the 12 players or 11 players, if we get too many people, we don't get a spot ourselves this year, into a league to help you guys maybe win a prize like the Tyreek Hill helmet last season that was absolutely spectacular as a set piece.
Yes, it was.
For the little bit of time that we were able to hold on to it.
Yeah, so we'll get more details out for you in that regard. So, but just keep an eye out for it. We'll mention it on Twitter and then, of course, in these shows. So, John, let's jump into the news.
Let's do it.
sad to see. I don't know why. There's been no reason, but Ramondre Stevenson has been placed on the NFI list due to an undisclosed issue. 2 other Patriots rookies were as well. Might be the Patriots doing Patriots things. Hopefully it's nothing major. Kind of scares me.
I'm
a Ramondre guy. I'm a Ramondre guy. So, I mean, hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully it's, maybe tweak the hamstring in an off-season workout or whatever, and he's not going to be able to go. So
he might miss a week or two, but if it's because of an off-season workout, that only makes me more excited because that man's really getting that work in.
It could just be Bill Belichick being Bill Belichick too.
It could be. Who knows? It's cap reasons. He's going to save $500,000 in cap space by moving him to the NFI list for the couple weeks.
Something stupid. Yeah. Zach Ertz has been reported that he is willing to play for the Eagles and plans to attend the start of training camp, per Howard Eskin of Sports Radio 94. Is that a good sign, bad sign? Do you like that fantasy wise? I mean, if he plays for the Eagles, are you jumping on that Ertz train?
No, if anything, it just kind of takes the top off of everyone else on that roster right now. They've got so many other people that could. I mean, Jalen Reagor could take a step forward this year. You could see Devonta.
You're really all over that guy.
I think that it's a possibility he takes a step forward. Devonta Smith's going to be there, and then Jalen Hurts at quarterback. I think Jalen Hurts will be fine, but Dallas Goedert as well. I think everyone just kind of loses their total volume this year, just by a little bit, but everything else will be fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not grabbing any of them or not grabbing any of them just because of him.
I agree. Aaron Rodgers, he turned down a 2-year deal that would have made him the highest paid player in the league. Is he coming back, John?
I think so. I think we see Aaron Rodgers, maybe not week 1, but I definitely think you see him play this year. Will he play for the Packers?
That's the question, I guess. That's really the biggest question. I think he plays, but I just don't know.
I think it's a 60% chance that he's playing for the Packers week 1.
60% chance. Wow.
60% chance. I would take the bet.
All right. You take the bet he does play. Okay.
He does play.
On the Packers. Gotcha.
On the Packers starting week 1.
Also, there is some chatter. The Eagles were one of these guys, and so the Dolphins were as well. But that that there are some teams interested in Deshaun Watson if he hits the open market, so long as all of his legal matters are put to rest.
Oof. Well, I mean, what do you think? Is there any realm of possibility that he's playing this season?
Oh yeah, I think there's a possibility. Yeah, I mean, if I had to put a number on it, 15% chance, which I might be low. I feel like a lot of people are higher than that, but I really don't think he plays this year. Not with everything going on.
Yeah, I'm on the train that he doesn't play. And even if he does get traded to another team, I think that we haven't heard a lot about the situation in months, realistically. There hasn't been any new allegations. There hasn't been any updates about the court system or what the battles that are going on or if he's signing checks over or what. So if anything, that makes me more curious about once everything's still settled, is he going to go on an exempt list? If he pays out 29 settlements,
that's a lot.
You would assume that he's going to be suspended from the league at some point.
And that's the thing. There can still be ramifications, even if he is proven innocent. That's a crazy thing. The NFL could still do something. So I don't think he plays, to be honest. But will you take a shot on him in one of your last rounds in best ball this year?
I'll be honest. I accidentally took a shot on him in a auction draft the other night.
Because I spent $11 on him.
Spent $11 in a $200 budget. And it was only because I was trying to push the bidding forward a little bit faster because I was waiting for the next person. And at $11, no one else was interested. And it was pretty early in the draft too, honestly.
No No,
it was mid round. No,
we were also out. Had a few beers in us.
It felt early.
It felt early.
Felt middle of the draft.
Yeah.
So I kept seeing names going by. I'm like, oh, I spent too much already.
Hey,
but no, I think that I don't think you take a shot on him at all.
I think in best ball you do. At least a couple
late
leagues.
round.
At least a couple leagues. Yeah, late round.
If you're playing multiple leagues, but if you're only doing one, you're only doing two.
Yeah,
he's not someone I'm comfortable with. He's a very, very risky pickup.
Agreed. And then finally, we all heard the news. Unfortunately, the LA Rams running back Cam Akers tore his Achilles. Sorry, John, I did skip one.
Okay. Did you? Oh, you did.
Yeah, I did. I skipped the Bengals news. So we'll talk about that real quick. Sorry. Replay that. The Bengals head coach, Zach Taylor, said the team would not force targets to any one receiver this season. Whoop-de-doo. Coach speak.
That's great.
That
means that they're not going to be targeting T. Higgins. They're not going to be over targeting. Everyone's thriving. Everyone's going to be great.
T. Higgins season, baby. It's T. Higgins season.
It's going to be
back
T
on
and
that
Chase.
Train. Yeah. So, and now drum roll, please, because I messed it up. The LA Rams running back, Cam Akers, unfortunately did tear his Achilles tendon in an off-season workout.
It was a terrible thing to ask for a drum roll for.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Damn.
Here comes the exciting news, everyone. I mean, it's exciting for anyone that does not have Cam Akers on their team, because that means that the guy that did just took a little bit of a loss. And yeah, I think Darrell Henderson takes a huge gain here, because he was already being drafted so low. I think some people already had considered him a very, very valuable sleeper, but now with the most recent thing going on here, we're still a little too early into the news to see where Darrell Henderson's ADP is actually going to end up. But
obviously, you cannot predict injuries. However, I did just break my arm patting myself on the back.
Hey, I'm just going to say this. I did call Cam Akers overvalued.
You did? Yes.
And
if you listen to the show,
he would not finish as a running back one.
Well, he's not going to this year.
Locked and loaded.
You are right.
Locked and loaded.
But seriously though, I listen to the show, guys. Listen to the show. We're putting out more content, both on YouTube and on our podcast, smaller clips. And Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson were two of the guys we talked about recently. So, but let's move into our question of the day. And of course, it's got to do with this situation. Is Darrell Henderson. From Rob on Twitter, I've been holding on to Darrell Henderson Jr. since 2019. It's a startup 10-man PPR. Can't read. I've been holding on to Darrell Henderson since my 2019 startup. It's a 10-man PPR dynasty league. I'm now in a position to compete without him. So he doesn't need Darrell Henderson now. What do I do? Should I send offers for a better asset or stand pat with my new potential running back 2? His current roster is as follows. He's got 3 quarterbacks. And John, I'll ask you this after I run down the roster. 3 quarterbacks, Brady, Hurts, Tannehill. His running backs are Chubb, Taylor, Dobbins, Henderson. He also had Edwards and Madison, I believe, is what you said, John. Edwards and Madison.
Yes, Gus Edwards and Alexander Madison. And
then his wide receivers are Stephon Diggs, Chris Godwin, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Juju Smith-Schuster, Curtis Samuel, Jalen Reagor, and his tight end is Darren Waller. So, my question to you, John, is this a super flex league or a quarterback league?
It's just a 10-man standard.
10-man standard. PPR league. All right.
I mean, your basic PPR format.
Okay.
Dynasty.
Right.
Dynasty. It is dynasty.
Yes. So, do you want me to go first? Or
you go first. Let me
all right.
Listen, everyone knows how I feel.
Rob, listen here. Yes, you can go to the Cam Akers owner and fish around for offers. See what they're willing to. You can put Darrell Henderson out there and see what anybody's willing to offer. I think he is a running back too, especially if they don't bring in a veteran. I do think he finishes as a running back too this year. Now, looking at your roster though, what I would do is I would keep Darrell Henderson as a depth piece, trade away one of your quarterbacks. You got Brady, Jalen Hurts, who everybody is way too high on, and Ryan Tannehill. Trade away Jalen Hurts, get somebody else, add another depth piece if you want, or just stand pat. I think those are your options. I mean, I'm not trading away Darrell Henderson unless I get a ridiculous offer. The first person I'd go to, obviously, Cam Akers.
It's dynasty. You're still trading away Jalen Hurts when you've got Brady and Tannehill?
If I'm competing now, yes. I want to win now.
Don't you want to win next year too?
No, I want to win now, John, because we don't know what's going to happen next year. What are the odds Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles next year?
After my statistical analysis, I would have to say about 75%.
75%. There's still a 25% chance. And honestly, I would say it's even lower than that. If he poops the bed, it could be Jalen Hurts' last year as a starting quarterback there in Philly.
But vice versa, Tom Brady gets injured worse than an MCL sprain.
You got Tannehill.
Or tear. You got Tannehill. That's great. How about this? Tannehill gets injured. Now Brady retires next year. You've got no future. Or next year.
See, sometimes, yes, I understand you want to look down the road and things like that, but at some point, if you got to either compete now or build for the future. You can't do both.
I think you hold all three quarterbacks. I don't think you're really in. I don't think you're in the. You don't need. He doesn't need another running back if he holds on to Henderson.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
His receiving core is fine. I think if I would stand pat before I trade my quarterback away and look for more depth there. If you're really looking to move, then maybe that's an option, but you're looking for a great return at that point in a dynasty league. I personally am on board with you. You throw some offers out there, let everyone know, hey, he's on the block if you're interested in him. See what kind of offers you get. Look to sell him at an incredible value, and if you don't get incredible value, don't move on him. You have great backup depth at running back now.
Yep.
And
Agreed.
Realistically, his other running backs on his depth pieces are handcuffs. I mean, Gus Edwards could be good, but it's going to not be great. It's not going to be great unless JK goes down. He'll be solid. And then Alexander Madison, almost same thing. You're not going to get big games from him unless Dalvin goes down or he just gets 2 touchdowns on a handful of carries that just so happen to be.
Yeah, I guess my what I was trying to get across, my point I was trying to get across is you're trading. Before I trade away Henderson, I would trade away one of my quarterbacks. More than likely, Rob, you're standing pat though. Good team, good future, especially with Waller. I like that. So, yeah, John's not a Waller guy, but it is what it is. He'll eat his words later. Don't worry.
Would you trade Patrick Mahomes for Darren Waller and Ryan Tannehill?
No.
Okay.
I want to win now, baby.
Look at the team comp and tell me who did that.
The what?
That's how he got Darren Waller and Ryan Tannehill, was he traded Patrick Mahomes away.
Oh, smart man. Very smart. Good job. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the meat and potatoes of this episode, the NFC North breakdown. We are going to start with the worst team in the NFC North, and that is the Detroit Lions. Who's worse?
I think there is a solid contention for both the Lions and the Bears for being terrible this year, and both of them for being surprisingly sneaky good. I think the Lions, I think everyone's sleeping on the Lions. Jared Goff's not a terrible quarterback. Jared Goff's actually usable. They still have a great run game. They just drafted a first-round running back, Penei Sewell. They grabbed Frank Ragnow back in 2019. I think they're a good team.
Congrats. Their defense is trash. Absolutely poo-poo. Anyways, they got a whole new coaching staff behind my guy, John's guy, Dan Campbell. He was the tight ends coach and the assistant head coach down there in New Orleans. And he was also the Dolphins interim head coach. He had us doing, not us, but the players doing Oklahoma drills his first day. So hard-nosed guy.
Time to be a fan.
Yeah, it was. It was fun for those couple games. He hired on Anthony Lynn, who we know from the Chargers, as his offensive coordinator, and then brought in Anthony Glenn, who was as a defense coordinator, who was the New Orleans Saints DB coach. A few key losses. All the wide receivers. Yeah. Matt Stafford obviously was traded away. Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones gone. Adrian Peterson gone. Kerryon Johnson, you are no more, at least in Detroit. And then they did bring in a couple guys, though. They were able to bring in some guys during this offseason, other than their draft picks. They brought in Tyrell Williams, a receiver from Las Vegas. Jared Goff, obviously, in that Matt Stafford trade. Rashad Perriman from the Jets, better known from his Buccaneer year. And then Jamal Williams from Green Bay. So free agent. So, and then of course during their draft, the biggest fantasy impact, they drafted Amon-Ra St. Brown. And if you listen to John's year one rookie wide receiver impact players, I said that completely wrong. He's on that list. Go check him out. The link will be in the description.
Yeah, it's going to be the rookie receivers with the most year one impact.
Boom.
But
thanks, John.
Let's start off really quickly. Just jump on that Jared Goff thing really fast and get it over with. I already said half my thing. He's not a bad quarterback. Jared Goff has kept two fantasy wide receivers and a top 24 respect 2 years in a row with both Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. There's no reason to expect that he's just going to completely fall out, even with a terrible receiving core that he has.
He has a receiving core?
He does. He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown. The guy's going to be one of the best rookie slot receivers this year. And they got Tyrell Williams.
Quintez Cephas?
It's not terrible, Mike.
Geronimo Allison?
It's not terrible.
All Carson these Wentz practice squad guys?
Carson Wentz was able to put up fantasy top 12 per week numbers some weeks last season with the Eagles receiving core.
Yes, but that's Carson Wentz.
Jared Goff can throw the ball enough to do it. And he's also can throw the ball to both of his running backs.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. Are you drafting him? I mean, realistically, are you taking him at all in any leagues? He's going quarterback. He's currently going quarterback 30, ADP of 207.7. So pretty much undrafted or close to it.
I mean, I would not upset if I grab him as my second quarterback in a 2-quarterback league or a regular league, and I just want my second quarterback. I think that he's incredible value right now. Quarterback 30?
Quarterback 30.
I think that's a good value personally.
I mean, I don't think he finishes as a quarterback 30. I do think he finishes higher than that. So I do think there's value there. If you're going late round quarterback, or even if you just want to grab a high end quarterback and grab a safety net later on. I mean, Jared Goff is, somebody you could grab. I am not taking him as my only quarterback though. Guarantee it.
No, yeah, absolutely would not. But
all right. Oops, sorry.
I would say quarterback 2 finish this year, 20 to 24 for sure.
Okay.
If not
DeAndre Swift, how do you feel about him? ADP of 33.9, running back 15. I know originally you were low on, or you were lower on him. His ADP has slipped a wee bit.
Yeah, I actually had him on my running back, my overvalued running back show before I edited my script and started getting into more research. And after that, I actually had to take him off because I couldn't do it. At the time, I thought he was a good value. So now that he's slipping, I think that he's actually an amazing value. I think that he's actually in line to get an incredible amount of pass catching work out of the backfield. And I think that he's more than likely someone who could sneak himself into that running back 1 situation, even with Jamal Williams there.
I agree 100%. I love DeAndre Swift here. Would you be upset? Say maybe you decide to grab Because I mean 33.9 is 34. He's going
That's
at the end of the third. If you're on the turn, if you're in that 10 spot and you grab Tyreek and maybe Travis Kelce or Tyreek and DeAndre Hopkins or something like that, would you be upset with the DeAndre Swift being your running back one?
I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be comfortable. I'd have to take a very, very strong lean on the running back the remainder of the draft, and if running backs are getting ready to go, I can't risk them not being coming back around to me at that point. If I want them, I need to grab them. So yes and no, but not strongly.
Yeah, I mean, if I can stack my team like that, though, if I can grab Tyreek or Stephon and DeAndre Hopkins, I'll be okay. I'll be okay with DeAndre as my first.
I mean, you could, because you'll be grabbing two running backs essentially if you're in a snake format. If you're at the turn, so you'll be able to grab DeAndre Swift and another running back going right around him.
Yeah.
So I think you'll be fine.
Last year he finished as a running back 18. So I mean, and that wasn't even with the full workload. I think he's got a great year, good future ahead of him. I do think he's a little undervalued. And like you said, I think he's a great value. Jamal Williams, running back 46, ADP of 142.3, going in the 12th round. Are you grabbing him as depth? I mean, he showed flashes in. I mean, not just flashes. I mean, he showed he can put up some serious fantasy points, during his stint in Green Bay alongside Aaron Jones. He can be there as a complement. Obviously, it's not the most consistent, but I mean,
well, he was never used as the primary running back in Green Bay. He was always there as like you're saying, the complement to Aaron Jones, or the backup when he was out, mixed in with another guy that was on their roster. Right now, though, at running back 46, 141, I actually don't mind grabbing him where he is. I do think that he sees a very strong amount of goal line work in that backfield. He is a bigger guy. I mean, he played in Green Bay and was able to get in the end zone a little bit. He didn't get nearly as much pass catching work as Aaron Jones did when he was in, especially when Aaron Jones was out, which is why I think that DeAndre Swift's going to be getting such an increase in that pass catching work this year. But I don't mind taking him at this late in a draft. There's not that much running back depth remaining. You've got Devin Singletary, Nyheim Hines around him, David Johnson, and there could be something there for him.
Any of those guys tickle your fancy over?
I kind of like David Johnson over him out of those, and that's only because I think you're going to get a really low end consistency.
Yeah, like we saw last year.
Yeah,
similar. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think Jamal is a great depth piece. I do like Nyheim Hines. Depending on your format, half PPR, I think it's a toss up. I think that Naeem's going to see a lot of pass catch or similar pass catching work to what it was last year. I actually am releasing a video on Friday that I'll go over, and Nyheim Hines is a part of it. But Jamal is, I think as late as he's going, I think he's a good value, and he could find himself into a running back one situation for that team. He's right there. So, if anything happened to DeAndre, so any of these wide receivers do anything for you? I know Amon-Ra St. Brown, you have him as your number. I'm not going to spoil it. They have to go check it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not going to waste a bunch of time on it. You guys can go check out my video from a real in-depth analysis of him. But realistically, he's got a direct line into that starting slot role for the Lions, and Jared Goff targets that slot position so much. With the talent around him, there's no reason that Amon-Ra shouldn't be getting an immense amount of work next season. And with as late as he's going, ADP currently is
he's ADP
wide receiver 77.
Yeah,
yep. Wide receiver 77. You take the shot on that. He's someone who's almost guaranteed a top 36 spot next year as a wide receiver.
You think he finishes a wide receiver 36?
Or better.
Wow, John, you really hot on him.
Book it.
Steal, sleeper. Sheesh.
Absolutely. Sheesh. Absolutely.
Dang,
Top
son.
36.
Love it. Tyrell Williams. I mean, how do you feel about him?
Well, I think I'm not taking the shot on him. At 47, you're still spending up a little bit more than I'd be willing to take. Someone's going to be that number one wide receiver there outside of TJ Hawkinson. And I don't think Tyrell Williams is going to be that number one guy outside of maybe the first 10 plays of week 1.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I'm not taking a shot on him there. I think it's just not I think he's going to have his weeks, but I don't think he's going to see any consistency. And I don't want that. I want to see consistency, and I don't think he really gives you any upside. So, and then as for Brashad Perriman, Quintez Cephas, personally, even in deep leagues, maybe Cephas, maybe Brashad Perriman, he had one good year in Tampa, and that's it. So I'm not too worried about him. TJ Hawkinson, how do you feel? Tight end 6, ADP 62.5.
I think he's fine. I think he's going to be very involved. Don't really know what else to say about him. I think tight end 6 is fair for him. He's going to be a high end tight end. Could fall to 7, but I don't think he might get much better than that.
Okay, so I apologize. I got to get this right. I was dyslexic and I screwed up Tyrell Williams. He's not 47, he's 74.
So all three of the receivers are within a few shots of each other,
yes.
Outside of Quintez. So realistically,
so
I'm
Amon-Ra
taking Amon-Ra over
Brown.
all of them. Okay. Over all of them, absolutely.
All right. And then you said, what about Hawkinson? I'm sorry.
I think Hawkinson's a good grab if you really want to grab one of those third-tier tight ends like the Fant, Gesicki, guys in that area that are consistent, high-end. He does have a little bit of upside. You could get better, but
I mean, we saw better last year.
Tight end 5. 6. I'm sorry. He was going at tight end 4 not too much longer ago. Tight end 6. I'm grabbing him actually. I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think
who's tight end 5 right now?
The thing is these are best ball ADPs right now. That's the best thing we have. So you know, I have seen in redraft a lot of people are reaching for Hawkinson above Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, he's going as a 4th in a lot of leagues I'm in. But if he can slip down a little bit, I mean, my thing is where he's going. I would rather wait with his quarterback situation. I would rather wait and get a Noah Fant, a Tyler Higbee, somebody a couple rounds later, and stack up on either my running back or wide receiver position.
I'm sorry. What's the quarterback situation? They got Jared Goff. They downgraded at quarterback, but they still have someone that was just in the Super Bowl a few years ago.
So is Jimmy G. So is Colin Kaepernick. So yeah, Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl. I don't want to hear it. All right, let's move on.
He won an MVP.
Yeah, he did. That's crazy. So let's move on to the Bears. The Bears. No coaching changes. They did lose Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles, so maybe a quarterback situation here. Maybe. We'll see. Only time will tell. They did bring in Damian Williams as a running back, and Marquise Goodwin signed there on a 1-year deal, the wide receiver. They did draft Justin Fields, probably the steal of the draft. No more quarterback situation.
I mean, still kind of a quarterback situation.
Nah, they're set for the future. They're good. I mean, maybe not this year.
They did also sign Andy Dalton in free agency.
You're right.
So there's kind of a quote-unquote quarterback battle, but it's more of a whenever Fields is ready by the coaching standards, he's going to be the starter for that team.
Yeah.
Dalton's just a placeholder, and I think there's been the most recent verbal committings by the coach is that Dalton more than likely is going to be the starter week 1 and that Fields will not be. So, I mean, we got...
So week 2, baby.
Week 2, quarterback 16. Do you think he can make up for it in 16 weeks?
We saw Justin Herbert do it
in 15.
And I mean, Andy Dalton's going as like the quarterback 36. So I'm not touching Andy Dalton because of the uncertainty. And to be honest, at this rich, I'm not touching Justin Fields either. ADP of 133.5, QB 16. No, thank you. Is there a possibility he does that? Yes. But we talk about it. Value. We want value. We want value. And that's not value.
That is not value. There's no, there's still a lot of receivers on the board you could be grabbing, just around that Herb Smith for the tight ends. And then there's still a lot of quarterbacks that you've been grabbing in those 20s that should be putting out possibly better numbers than him. So no, I don't think Fields is safe enough. But
yeah.
If you're a risk taker.
I mean, I guess I'd rather have Kirk Cousins going at quarterback 19. I know he doesn't give the same upside, but he's
and that's
give the floor. He gives the floor.
2 quarterback league, would you take Justin Fields earlier? Like if you had, I was thinking, if I had a high end quarterback, would you take the Justin Fields as your second?
If I had like a Josh Allen.
Yeah, if you had a Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen.
Sure, I'd take
Kyler Murray.
I'd probably not. No. I'd want consistency at that second quarterback position, because if he doesn't even play, then
because there's a chance that he's playing by the time the quarterback that you drafted to start every week goes out on an injury or is on their bye week.
At that point, I would and that's why Trey Lance and him are going so high, is because people are doing that, and I gotta stick to my guns, John. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to grab somebody else. But if I were to, if I did grab him, I'd have to grab like somebody like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, a Baker Mayfield, somebody like that, who's going to later on, who's that my third quarterback. I got to get one of those guys. And even Ryan Fitzpatrick's kind of unsafe. So
let's jump over to the running backs. Oh, okay. David Montgomery. I think we just heard news from Matt Nagy recently that he's trying to give David Montgomery no less than 20 carries per game. On 17 games, you're looking at 340 carries. So going to see some production from that at least.
Derrick Henry 2.0?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But at running back 18, I think you're going to get a really good return on investment. I think he's pretty safe at that point. But there are some other people just a little bit below him that are possibly a higher upside in general. I mean, obviously you're not grabbing Miles Sanders, which is going at 19 right below him. I kind of like Josh Jacobs, but not much more than David Montgomery. Actually looking at the current ADP, wow.
I'm taking David Montgomery.
Yeah, I'm taking David Montgomery over
anybody there. I'm taking him over Miles Sanders. No, I'm taking him over Josh Jacobs. I'm taking him over Mike Davis. I think if you decide to, I really do. I think it's value. Plain and simple. If you decide to go wide receiver heavy in the first couple rounds, I think David Montgomery is your last ditch at getting a solid solid running back week in and week out with consistency. So before it's
so he's the beginning of the 4th round. Middle of the 4th round. You could grab 2 running back, 2 receivers, and then grab him as your second running back, and your team's looking strong. Mm-hmm. Or even grab one of those early tight ends. He's
gonna be one of my targets this year. I'm not gonna lie.
I need to know more. I don't know how many more drafts I have with you this year.
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. Pay attention. Tariq Cohen, anything? He's going to be pass catching back potentially. They also have Damian Williams. Any of those guys really do anything for you? I know Tariq Cohen's coming off that injury.
I see Damian Williams as more as a depth piece for that David Montgomery or Tariq Cohen injury that could be looming. But I could take a shot on Tariq Cohen in best ball because I don't see many people actually drafting him at his ADP. And he's someone that if I could see falling in drafts with some potential upside and worth a roster spot, but don't expect much from him. Yeah. I mean, at best, you could get some pass catching work, but with that uncertainty at quarterback, their receivers taking steps forward, they're more than likely going to be moving the ball through the air or with David Montgomery.
Yeah. No, I agree. Now let's go over the wide receivers. We've got Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, and Anthony Miller. Allen Robinson, let me go over their ADPs real quick. Allen Robinson going 31.4. Wide receiver 13. Darnell Mooney, 104.1. Wide receiver 51. And then Anthony Miller, 215 ADP, wide receiver 104. Give me your thoughts. I mean, in my opinion, I think Anthony Miller is a moot point. I'm not really taking him. I don't think there's any upside there. I don't think there's any consistency there. What about the other two guys?
Darnell Mooney, I'm obviously been super hot on. I think I'm still super hot on him, to be honest, even with this quarterback situation. I honestly, though, I think that with the Allen Robinson situation, you're going to be paying a little bit high for him. But looking at the guys that are going just below him, I'm not really excited about. The next receiver that I'm really interested in, I'd be waiting for, and that's probably DJ Moore or Robert Woods. And the two of them, I mean, Robert Woods you probably have to grab next, but DJ Moore could fall to you and you can pick something else up. I think Allen Robinson's great, but I think he's really overvalued right now. Darnell Mooney's going for a good value currently at 51.
Yeah, honestly, I think if you're in this position of picking him up, you're praying that somebody falls. You're praying that CD or Terry falls. I love Allen Robinson. The talent. But this year with the uncertainty with Andy Dalton and may potentially a rookie quarterback, wide receiver 13, that could be his. That could be where he finishes. And if he was going a little bit further back, wide receiver, if he was going wide receiver 15, I'd be over it. I know you say, it's only a couple positions, but I think that's where he could finish. Comfortably, he could finish in that range. So I agree. And that's for Darnell Mooney. I think he's a steal. Wide receiver 51. I think he could be one of the breakout candidates. And I think a lot of people jumped on that train. A lot of people jumped on that train, and then it kind of cooled off after the whole Jalen Ramsey and him, or not even him, just Jalen Ramsey Twitter thing happened. We haven't heard as much of him, and still wide receiver 51. I'll take that all day. I think he finishes at least low end wide receiver 3.
Yeah, I would expect that from him at least. And then you're grabbing guys, Russell Gage around him, Jalen Waddle, Mecole Hardman going before him, Michael Pittman. I think that you're looking at the high-end wide receiver 3.
Pittman's the only one that I would – yeah, Pittman's the only one there that I would even, consider, so.
And we're going to have to talk because you shouldn't even be considering them. Tight ends, though. Do you like Cole Kmet this year?
Yes, I do, especially where he's going. Tight end 22. I mean, I think he's a late round. He showed flashes last year. I like Cole Kmet coming out of the draft. I mean, I like Cole Kmet. Where he's going. I mean, I know he didn't have the best season, but I do think that he had a strong finish to the season. Some solid targets. So hopefully that keeps up. And I think it's tight end 22. I mean, it's nothing.
It's a shot.
You're not.
It's a shot.
Yeah.
Last year, Jimmy Graham did eat into his total snap count as well as his total targets and receptions. Jimmy Graham was actually kind of balling for a few weeks, finding himself into the top 10 tight ends, mainly due to touchdowns. But I do think that Jimmy takes a step slightly back. Cole Kmet takes that step forward, and those little bit of targets that'll come his way will really push him up that tight end finish. At tight end 22, 10 points will probably move you up to tight end 15. So I think that he's a great steal. I wouldn't be touching Jimmy Graham. Just same thing. If he's going to be good this year, it'll be within 2 weeks. You can pick him up off the waivers with maybe a little bit of a fight.
Yeah, I think Cole Kmet is somebody more than likely somebody's going to grab at the end of their draft. So if you're going to do it, grab him at the end. Grab him one of your last picks. So let's move on to the Vikings. Skull. Really the only coaching change. Clint Kubiak is taking over taking over as the offensive coordinator for his father. So keeping it in the family. They did lose Kyle Rudolph. He went over to the New York Giants, and they didn't really have any major fantasy impactful free agent signings. They shored up their offensive line. They got Christian Darrisaw, which is big. And then, of course, they got in the third round Kellen Mond. How do you say it, John?
Kellen Mond.
Yes.
I believe so.
So
I've all been saying Kelsey wrong for years, so.
I heard something about that. I didn't. What?
It's pronounced Kels. Kels.
Well, it's not spelled that way. He doesn't know his own name.
Yeah.
Fantasy players. Kirk Cousins. Great year last year.
Best year of his career last year.
Very, very, very best. Very good. He's going as the quarterback 19, ADP of 150.9. I mean, does he repeat his year last year?
No.
Okay. No top 12 in his future?
No, top 12 this year.
No. It wasn't his best.
Statistically?
His best. I mean, fantasy-wise.
Not fantasy finish, but
I mean, even statistically, I mean, other than his 35 touchdowns, that was really the only outlier, but he was pretty close.
Percentage.
He was pretty close to it. No, I don't know. I mean, I think Kirk Cousins, great option. If you're wanting to go late round quarterback, I think Kirk Cousins.
Let's take into consideration what I said. Quarterback 12, no. Better than a quarterback 19? Almost more than likely. I mean, you've got two absolutely studly wide receivers, a great pass catching back, a great handcuff pass catching back if my pass catching back gets hurt, as well as Irv Smith at tight end. I think that Kirk Cousins just has so much opportunity for him to get points in fantasy football. He'll be fine, at least this year.
I mean, I like him. QB 19, nice. Nice.
I'd grab him.
Would you grab him as your only quarterback?
If I had to, if I was forced into it, not if I was not by choice, not by design. If my draft crumbled.
If your draft crumbled. So I mean, if you could stack up on like your wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, I mean, I think he's a great late round guy, but it would worry me because it's Kirk Cousins. You like that?
It's Kirk Cousins.
Dalvin Cook. Is he finishing in the top 2 of running backs or what? Like that's where he's being drafted. He's being drafted second overall. Top 2 finish.
Okay, so I think the reason he's being drafted at 2 is he has the opportunity of finishing anywhere between 1 and 5, but I think he's very safe at finishing in that area, especially because that pass catching work the same way Christian McCaffrey is. But I couldn't tell you I honestly couldn't tell you right now if it's going to be 1 or 4, 1 or 5. It's really going to come out somewhere.
If you're at the 2 spot, are you taking him at 2? Is he your second quarterback or running back off the board?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, currently, yeah.
I agree. I'm taking Cook. He's very safe in that offense. I mean, they run the ball. So
really quickly, just because I want to bug you. Kirk Cousins, you said quarterback 19. Quarterback 21, Baker Mayfield. You're not more comfortable with Baker Mayfield with a healthy OBJ?
Maybe. But this isn't about the Browns.
I'm saying there's better.
I mean, I probably would. I mean, I'd probably take.
There's a lot of.
I don't know. I still kind of like Kirk Cousins. I mean, it's not sexy, but I also don't think that. I don't know. It'd probably be a split decision, to be honest. It'd be like in the moment. Do I go? I don't think you can go wrong with either. I think you're gonna get similar. One's gonna finish like 13. One's gonna finish 14.
What about Alexander Madison? Are you drafting him? He's currently going at running back 48, ADP 153. Not touching him at all.
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
So we're talking the 13th, 14th round.
Give me Jamal Williams.
Fair enough. I like that one. I'm going to agree with you there.
What did he do to us last year, John? I don't forget.
There was one game where he did absolutely nothing, and it was the one game you were supposed to start him. Outside of that, but that one game, let's be fair, him doing that, the first opportunity he had, gave everyone a fear to put him back in the rest of the games that he had a chance, and the rest of the opportunities he had a chance, because there was games where Dalvin Cook was supposed to be out up until the last few minutes, and still at that point, everyone going into the week was not comfortable playing him at that spot.
Yeah. No, I'm staying away from Madison. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver 8, ADP 24.4. Does he repeat his amazing season?
I do, and he tweeted about it too. So he tweeted about it. I'm all over it.
Cam Newton tweeted about his great year last year too.
Hey,
special characters and all.
Yeah, but that's Cam. It's not Justin Jefferson. He can't do the whatever it's called, the gritty.
Yeah. He probably can't. Adam Thielen, wide receiver 23.
I'm taking Adam Thielen, I think. I mean, he's a better value. Value.
Great value. At 23, you got someone who could easily find himself into like the top 15 again, as well. Irv Smith, though, tight end 12.
I think I'm staying away from Irv Smith this year. I don't like the coach speak coming out of camp. He's got Justin Jefferson. He's got Adam Thielen. Dalvin Cook can catch the ball. We all see it. I think I'm staying away from Irv Smith. I was hot on that train. I wanted. Well, Kyle Rudolph's gone, but I wanted Irv Smith to ball out, especially. I mean, he was on mid-episode. Kyle Rudolph is gone, but I'm staying away from Irv Smith, and it might bite me. But I think Tyler Higbee is a better. I like Tyler Higbee. I think he's going to tight end 11. Rather have him. As crazy as it sounds, I'd rather take a shot on Cole Kmet at 22 than I would at Irv Smith at 12.
I'm gonna agree with you. The whole thing with Kyle Rudolph, like I was saying, leaving. Kyle Rudolph was always expected to break out last season, but never did. He had that opportunity to be that team's tight end, that amazing tight end, but never really did it. And even when Irv Smith came in, he had his moments. But I don't think that just the fact that Kyle's coming into the week, or coming into a first starting role is gonna. I don't know if he's that man.
Rudolph was the anchor though, years prior.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I agree. It was too split up, and I mean, Kyle only had 37 targets. It's not gonna get it done. So I got googly-eyed. I did get googly-eyed for a minute, but it is what it is. And then finally, we have got our Green Bay Packers. Their neighbors, the Milwaukee Bucks, just won the NBA championship. No coaching changes. Players lost. Aaron Rodgers, ? And then they did sign Blake Bortles, and they drafted Amari Rodgers in the 3rd round. They drafted a wide receiver in the 3rd round. Not the first, but the 3rd. John, Aaron Rodgers.
He's coming back. I said it earlier.
QB 13, ADP 110. Are you taking the shot on Aaron Rodgers? He's going outside the top 12. If he plays for the Packers, he's a lock for a top 12, barring injury.
Absolutely.
Are you taking him?
No.
Is this the time to pounce?
No, because just like you were just saying, he's a lock for a top 12, but just as easily as he didn't throw 45 touchdowns. He threw 45 touchdowns last season. He had a low touchdown season the year before that. It's not a guarantee that he's going to be a top 5, 6, or 7 finish. And there's that chance that he doesn't even suit up this year. So you're not taking the pick. Quarterback 13, that's more than likely your first quarterback. And what are you going to do at that point? You're going to have to pick up another quarterback in a couple picks.
You could pick up Deshaun Watson later.
You could really take the gamble.
Jordan Love.
Andy Dalton even later.
Yeah, there you go. Jordan Love.
No.
If he's going late QB 30s. If he starts, I mean, I think his ADP is going to jump up a little bit. I think he'll probably go in that QB 24 range. Unless more videos of him missing the passing nets come out. I don't think I'm taking the shot on him. I mean, there's no point. They're safer out there.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'm going to stick away from him.
All right, running backs real quick. I mean, okay, let me do this. It's going to be out of order a little bit, but there's two guys obviously that we're all going to talk. We want to talk about, but AJ Dillon, Allen Lazard, Amari Rodgers, MVS. Are any of those guys? Do any of those guys do anything for you? I mean, AJ Dillon is currently RB 39. Lazard, wide receiver 89. Amari Rodgers 80, and then Valdez-Scantling 78. So the receivers going about the same range.
AJ Dillon, no, he's a little too rich for me. Even as I don't think that he's an automatic handcuff for Aaron Jones. And even though we saw Jamal Williams get some work last season, it's not going to be enough for me. And I don't know what kind of role they're going to be using him in. We didn't see enough of it. As far as the receivers, no, I don't know if I'm really trusting them. I think you can find better shots in the dark at this chance. And it comes down to the fact that we don't know if Rodgers is playing, and that number 2 receiver is going to be worth less without him there.
Yeah, I agree. AJ Dillon, I think you can find better value later. I mean, we talked about it. Jamal, Nyheim Hines, guys like that, Gus, people, running backs like that. As for the wide receivers, I'm not going to take a shot, especially if Aaron Rodgers isn't there. If Aaron Rodgers is there, I'm going to pick up Amari Rodgers. I like the Absolutely. Talent coming out of Clemson. Also, last names, they have to. There's got to be a connection. So,
it's A. Rodgers and A. Rodgers.
Boom. You can't go wrong. All right, now the two guys that people are going to be talking about because they're drafted very highly. Aaron Jones, ADP of 17.6, running back 12, and Davante Adams, ADP of 15.9, wide receiver 4. John, give me your take.
Aaron Jones, I'm smashing at running back 12. Wow. I think that's absolutely great. I think he's one of the safer running back ones, with realistically his floor, if he plays the whole 17 games, being running back 12. Like they lost Jamal Williams, who I said earlier was slowly getting a little bit of work behind him. AJ Dillon, I'm not comfortable with. I think a lot of people are worried about the Aaron Rodgers not being there situation. But if anything, I think that's going to give him more rushing opportunity and a little bit more pass catching work, dumping balls out of the backfield with the quarterback they don't trust. And I think he's going to bring a lot of value. Davante Adams, on the other hand, yeah, I mean, if Hopkins, Diggs, Hill don't fall, I maybe I grab him, but it really depends on when I'm drafting and what kind of news about the quarterback situation is. If Rodgers isn't there, he's dropping considerably, and I'm waiting until I can't give up taking that risk.
Yeah. So I agree. It's painful. I've never been an Aaron Jones guy, but whether Aaron Rodgers is there or not, he's going to get the touches. He's going to be involved. It doesn't take that much skill to throw a 10-yard dump pass to Aaron Jones or hand the ball off to him. So honestly, and this is where I'll take Aaron Jones. I'd feel a little queasy if he's my running back 1, but if I can stack him with a Jonathan Taylor, a Zeke especially, if I can, I'm hot on Zeke this year. If I can, and he's fallen.
This is every year.
No. Last year I was pretty hot on him, but he delivered. Running back 11, he just wasn't as consistent. Don't give me that. Anyway,
where'd you draft him?
I didn't draft him because I didn't ever draft that high. I freaking drafted on the turn every freaking draft last year.
We'll talk about him next episode, but everyone drafted him in like running back 4 last year.
Yeah, it's true. But if I can stack him with like a Zeke or a Jonathan Taylor, I feel very comfortable taking Aaron Jones in the middle of that second round. As for Davante, I'm staying away until I get all clear from Aaron Rodgers. Once I get that, I'll take him. He's pretty much being drafted close to his ceiling. I mean, he's going, ADP of 15.9. So 16, he might bump up to ADP of 12. So you're talking 4 spots. not a big deal.
I think that you're getting a lot of value from him.
So right now I'm not touching him. And I think the earliest I would pick him up is somewhere in the third. If he's my third pick, if I can stack my running backs, get Devontae Adams as my wide receiver 1 in the third round, then yes, I'll take him. But I'm not reaching for him there. Not right now.
Yeah, don't blame you.
Thank you.
Blame you at all. So that's going to be it. That's going to be our NFC North divisional breakdown.
Yeah. Fun one.
I had a great time. Got a lot of conversation in there. Hope you guys found a lot of good content in that. Don't sell Henderson off unless you're getting incredible value, because I think he's going to be an absolute steal.
And if you would have listened to the videos, you would have known that.
You would have traded for him earlier.
So
now
guys,
you could have sold him off for the profit.
Yeah. Boom. There you go. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, also hit the little bell. And if you're listening to us via podcast, if you could leave us a 5-star review, we would much appreciate it. Also, don't forget Discord link in the bio, as well as John's rookie. What was it? Wide receiver rookie 1 year impact one.
Oh man. No.
Year 1 impacts from rookie wide receivers. Sounds good.
Close enough.
That link will also be in the description. And finally, John, you got anything to say?
Make sure you guys check out that Discord on YouTube. Hit the subscribe alert button and the little bell icon up there. Like the videos. Go to Twitter, check us out, Instagram for some of our older content. Tell one friend, tell 2 friends, tell them to get the word out, and then make sure to check out that Discord link. I think next episode we are going to be doing the East, NFC East. So we'll be going over the possible worst to first division in the league. Could be seeing some good team comebacks there.
Washington football team going for the Super Bowl, maybe.
Believe we have another guest host joining us.
Yes, we will, as long as the schedule matches up. But yes.
Okay, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and see you soon.
All right, guys, we love you. Mwah.